Hey, real quick, just a little bit of context for this episode. Andre is still in Minneapolis, so I had Adam come on to the podcast for one episode. Next week, Andre will be back. We just totally brushed over it because we were drinking and forgot to mention anything, so that's why it's Adam today.
How's the weather over there, brother?
It's all right. Just
Yeah.
normal, kind of cold, not super cold.
What are you in, like the 40s, 50s?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Those are the nice
All right.
days. We've had some colder days.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You haven't had any snowfall yet, right?
We had one.
Oh, really?
We got like 4 or 5 inches.
Wow,
It was
really?
warm. It was pretty warm, so it melted fast.
Melted quick, yeah.
Melted in like a day.
Ah.
Ah.
Ah. Yeah, we've had some cold weather here. We've had, I mean, obviously it's relative, right? But it's been like in the 50s. Today was nice. I went and played golf today, and it got up to like 65 or something like that. Sun was out. I had to take my sweater off. It was hot.
Speaking of sweaters,
I know. I see that.
you like that? Little Seahawks.
Seahawks sweater, yeah.
I wore it today trying to get like reactions out of people. Wore it to church, wore it around. Nobody said a thing.
Nobody said a
It's
thing.
just
Huh?
normal, yeah.
Yeah, I seen that actually. Right when I pulled up the camera, I seen it. Ooh, that's fancy.
Yes,
I don't know
sir.
how well your Seahawks are doing this year, but
Hey, way better than they should.
well,
So,
then that's a plus. You got to look at the
we
plus
got
side, right?
we got Jesus Smith on our team. Got rid of Russell Wilson, and now he's the most clowned on quarterback in the
Oh
league.
my God, yeah, because we brought him to the Broncos, dude. What the fuck?
And they suck.
Oh my God, dude.
Geno Smith has like last time I looked, he had the third highest QB rating.
Did he really?
He doesn't really throw
Wow.
bad passes. He's not like crazy good, but he's not making mistakes.
Yeah.
And our rookie running back is he's doing pretty good. So we're kind of getting our run game going again.
I think it's gonna take time to build, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, get some of those newer guys comfortable, you know, in the league, and
And at the moment, we probably won't use it because Seattle never pays rookies high. But with the Broncos sucking so bad, for that trade, we got your first round pick.
yeah,
And
we got
they're sitting at
just
number
absolute
5
dookie.
right now. We would get the 5th pick for trading Russell Wilson
Oh
at the
my
moment.
God, we got the absolute dookie fucking Russell Wilson. Yeah, I had hopes. Not gonna lie, I had hopes that he would come over and he would play well, right? But maybe it's a time thing, you know. But then again, expectations when you know you're the Denver Broncos and a Broncos fan, his expectation is he comes in and you know does great things. So
Yeah, so I always thought that it was Seattle's play calling that was stupid. And I'd heard rumors that Russell Wilson was like the reason for it. And watching the Broncos play now, it's like watching Seattle play, but worse.
but worse, yeah.
Because they run the ball, don't go anywhere. Run the ball, don't go anywhere. And then they throw it 40 yards downfield. And that's what Seattle did with Russ.
Yep,
Russ completed more of those in Seattle.
that's very true.
But
Many more of those.
yeah, it's crazy that it was just all him.
I think, you know, the Broncos, because they've had like our last good quarterback, right? Manning, before he retired. I mean, that was what he did. Elway, right? That's what he did. Tebow, even when Tebow was there, right? Like he wasn't phenomenal, but he was good enough to be able to read the game, make we'll say, you know, decisions at the line to call your audibles and, you know, play the flow of the game. And I think they're trying to find a quarterback that's able to do that. But I don't know if the team's at that caliber anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're just not there.
Yeah,
They need to have somebody fucking just run with it for right now.
Russ is better than he's playing. He's got to be
for
playing
sure.
through injury or something. He's not as bad as he's showing and as he's getting clowned on. Part of it is your coaching is so bad. Nathaniel Hackett is so bad.
I mean, yeah, I mean, again,
It's
we
been
just
bad
have
for
had
years.
we've just had a terrible year. It's been bad for years, but this year has been like horrendous. It's been horrendous this year, and I don't know. Like, I'll be honest with you, brother. I stopped watching the Broncos. I get so frustrated that I just stopped watching them. I was like, I'll watch anybody else, but I will not watch the Broncos right now. And
They're hard to
so-
watch. It's very boring because their defense is good. So they don't even get blown out. They're always
No.
within reach, and then they just don't do anything with it.
And that's why I can't watch them, because we have such a good defense that it's like, okay, can the offense please just fucking pull their fucking dick out of their ass and put some points on the board? Make your defense feel like you're actually trying. But it's just, oh, it kills me. It kills me, brother. So I'll watch it in spurts. Like, I know they're playing, so I'll like throw it on. I'll watch for, a quarter, and then I realize like I'm just gonna waste my time because I'm gonna be frustrated by the end of this. So I did see Nebraska one today. I didn't get to watch the game. I heard it was ugly.
It was yesterday.
Or was that yesterday? Played yesterday?
Yeah, they played yesterday. They played Iowa and beat them.
Oh yeah. But I heard it was ugly. I was looking at some of the comments, and
I didn't get to watch it. I was working.
Yeah, apparently they had a 20. I mean, they won 24-17. I think is what it was, or something.
I don't remember the score.
But some of my buddies on Facebook, I didn't get to watch the game. Same reason, right? They were at work, didn't get to watch the game. And one of the guys had mentioned, like, you didn't miss anything. Like, it wasn't a great game. They almost blew a 24-point lead. So
I did hear that.
Yeah.
Hey, man, beating Iowa is beating Iowa.
Hey, that's
all
true.
Matters.
That's true, man. And Iowa's a tough team too.
Mm-hmm. They're okay. They're definitely down from what they normally are.
Oh yeah.
What surprised me is Michigan just shit on Ohio State.
Blew them,
pooped on them.
Fuck up, man.
Andre, I'm sure, since he's not here, we don't get to talk about it, which I'm sure he's going to be really sad about. So we're going to talk about it for him, and we're going to breeze right past it real fast. But Michigan has shown like some low points in the season, and so has Ohio State.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I thought that it was going to be close, and I thought Ohio State would win it, but it wasn't even really.
Ohio State came out the gate too. They came out pretty quick, put some points on the board, and I thought to myself, like, okay, it's Ohio State. They get ahead, they'll run with it, and then they just folded like a fucking pancake, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. What surprised me is, like, when Nebraska played Michigan, I was talking to Andre about it, and I said, the score could have been a lot worse than it was because Michigan was throwing the ball a lot, and that's, they run the ball. They're a running team. And their quarterback's never really good. And that quarterback had a hell of a day. I mean, 190 yards isn't a lot, but he threw for 4 TDs.
Yeah.
And so that's huge for Michigan.
There's some programs, Michigan State, even over here, obviously Georgia, right? So Georgia's just a powerhouse right now. But like other teams that I never really considered, and since I moved over here to the East Coast, like South Carolina, the Gamecocks, right? Don't play in a super hard division, but it's like they got some good squads out here, man.
Did you see what they did today?
No, I didn't.
They beat Clemson.
They beat Clemson?
They beat Clemson today.
Oh, my God, dude.
Yeah.
Oh. And I would always know when the Gamecocks are doing good because all my neighbors all down the street, when they're playing, obviously the Gamecocks are playing, or Clemson or Georgia, one of those three, like, they have it. I mean, they're sporting it, right? But today I was out and about, so I wasn't in the neighborhood very much, so I didn't even think to see it. But yeah, that's again, like, we'll call them sleeper teams, right? That teams that you're just like, they're never that good, and then they come out and they beat Clemson, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm surprised Bama. I don't want to say they're bad, but they've fallen off
a little bit. Yeah, it's like I wouldn't even know who the favorite is. It's got to be Georgia, right?
Georgia. Yeah, Georgia's the favorite right now. And I would say Clemson, but if Clemson just got beat by the fucking Gamecocks.
No, they didn't.
Like, fucking throw a wrench in that one. So, I mean,
I might knock them out. Were they in the playoffs? Were they ranked top 4?
I think yeah.
Were they 4?
They may have been 4 because obviously Georgia, Bama,
Ohio State, and Michigan were both in there.
Yeah. No, yeah, they may have been not have been.
Yeah,
they probably were on the cusp.
Not getting in now.
No, they're definitely not getting in.
Did you see Nebraska hired a coach?
I did. Yeah. He was the Panthers coach, Panthers head coach.
I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah, I was looking at the news on it, and I was reading up on some articles, and they were saying, he was an NCAA guy before he went up to the league, right? And he had turned some programs around like Toledo, and there was one other one that they had mentioned. Baylor and Toledo. He had turned their programs around, and then he went to the NFL, And then I had seen something. I don't know if it was in that article or somebody had made a comment, that I'd read somewhere that was like, oh, all the coaches that can't make it in the NFL, they're good NCAA coaches. And I was like, well, yeah, maybe there's some truth to that. I don't know.
It's a different game.
100%.
It's rare for someone to be good at both, and that's what Michigan has. They have Harbaugh. He was successful, and I mean, he didn't win a Super Bowl, but he went to one.
But yeah.
Many NFC title games.
I think that's why Saban never decided to go to the NFL, because he just knows that
his reputation was too much on the line. He'd have to go in
100%.
and be the best. Another coach 100%. That did it was Pete Carroll. He was USC's coach and went to Seattle.
And then he went to Seattle, But I think the thing with that is USC and Seattle, both West Coast, very similar play style. Like I think their schemes and just the way they play were so similar that it wasn't a big change for someone like Pete, right?
Is USC a power running team?
Yeah. So they were because if you remember, they had Bush.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so he was, with the Bush era, and that's where their powerhouse was there. But California teams, right, have always been very hybrid. What I've noticed, it's like when they have the star player at the running back, or their running game is always strong, like they mold their team to be a very good running team. And if they got a quarterback that's fucking mobile and can run around and throw the ball, then they're able to mold their teams and their play styles to fit that. Vice, a Bama team, right? Bama's always just going to run it down your throat. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So
it's the three main styles. You got the Kansas City Chiefs, where they have so many weapons and a good quarterback, or Oregon for college. They have all the weapons at wide receiver, so you just throw the ball, airmail it all day.
Yep.
Then you have like a Bama or a Tennessee Titans that's just power run football. I think didn't Derrick Henry go to Bama?
He did, yeah.
Yeah, so he brought that program with him because the Titans weren't a running team before they had Henry.
No, they were not. And
then you have that kind of Seattle type, that West Coast offense. So
yeah.
If you can get the run game going and then start doing play action and things like that, if you can get that defense to creep in to try to stop that run.
Oh, so lethal.
You can get some good stuff going.
You just pick them apart, It's insane. But football, I love to hate it some days, some weekends. Like, I'm sitting down watching football and I get so frustrated with the Broncos. and then Nebraska's always.
It's tough that you're a Husker fan and a Broncos fan.
I know, dude. I know. But I've been watching a lot more, Georgia. More than anything, like Georgia. I've been watching the Georgia games. My neighbor across the street, Keith, he's a huge Georgia fan, man, like diehard. So he'll throw it on in his garage. He's got a little screen, a projector. He'll throw it on, and so I'll go over there and drink a beer and watch it with him and. Starting to learn, a lot of the Georgia players and just watching them play. I mean, it's always fun to watch a number one team play. Like they're just fucking good.
Good, yeah. They're just
better than watching Nebraska.
Oh yeah, pretty much anything. Dude, I'll watch D2. There's some D2 schools that are funner to watch than Nebraska.
I know, right? I'll go watch my son play football over here in the little park with his friends. It's more entertaining than Nebraska football some days.
I'll watch the World Cup before I watch
Nebraska.
The World Cup. I don't even understand it. I don't understand soccer at all.
Dude, it has been insane.
What's the drama with that? Fill me in. Try to educate me a little.
All right, so let me educate you. So World Cup, let's start from the top, right? Drama World Cup. Number one was Qatar is hosting, right? Mm-hmm. And 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago, when the bidding happens, because they bid for every World Cup, they take bids, and they got to say why we should host it in this country. A lot of countries want it because obviously the money, right? The amount of money that you make is just insane. So back when the bidding happened and Qatar won it, shortly after there was a huge investigation on a scandal that basically all your top-ranking FIFA officials that make the decision on this, that the voting goes to, that they were paid off. That Qatar paid them money so that they can move it to their country, right? So that was like a huge deal. So then such as like the Olympics, right? With human rights violations and things like that, right? That's kind of a piece that falls in with Qatar, because Qatar is a Middle East country and they mistreat, the way they treat their women and their rights, women's rights and things like that. So that's kind of the big overarching why there was always drama with the World Cup going there. And then now that the World Cup's there, so you're in a Middle East country, when it's World Cup, women like to wear nothing. They like to drink. It's just a party, right? It's the World Cup.
Yeah.
And so Qatar doesn't allow drinking in any of the stadiums. Now, women aren't required to cover themselves as fiercely. But for players and nations, no flags are allowed to be flown outside of the stadium. So if you have a flag, you cannot fly it outside of the stadium to support your team. And the restrictions that they have on the fans and even the players, right? Like all the restrictions that are put on them, it doesn't make it feel like the World Cup normally feels. Fun and just go out and support your country and all that. So that's kind of we'll say the overarching, right? Just it's not the right atmosphere for the World Cup. You know what I mean? It's like, imagine, playing the Super Bowl and, you're not allowed to drink at the Super Bowl. You're not allowed to be supporting your team outside. Like everything has to happen inside of the stadium. It's just ridiculous. And then the other thing that I've been watching the games, and this World Cup is the first one in, I didn't remember what they said, probably I think 4 or 5 World Cups, which is about 20 years, roughly 16 to 20 years, because it happens every 4 years, that there has been the lowest scoring, in the sense of like so many ties have happened in the first round or in the group stages where you're getting 0-0, 0-0, 1-1. There's really only been one blowout, and that was Spain.
Didn't they score 7?
7 goals on poor Costa Rica, man. They just
nuts.
Took their dick and beat it on their forehead, basically. But yeah, and then there's a lot of teams that are like on the bubble, right? Like Argentina, I watched them play today. If Argentina wouldn't have won today, if they would have went with a tie, like there's a lot of groups that are like top teams are right on the bubble of not making it into the first round. So that's been like super cool to watch, but like super nerve wracking. The U.S. right now, like we fucking tied against England, which was great. Like that's the best we could ask for, because we have. I
saw a meme that was USA versus England, and it was like USA won the Revolutionary War. War of 1812 was a draw, and then it gets into like Super Bowls.
Yeah.
USA's 55-0 and SEC championships.
Oh, it's ridiculous. But yeah, because so we have the youngest squad of all the 32 teams that are in the World Cup right now. The U.S. has the youngest squad. Like the median age in the U.S. is the youngest. I don't know what it is, but it's the youngest of all the teams. So there wasn't a lot of high expectations for the U.S. going into this, because you got a bunch of young guys that have never played in the World Cup. But I think the advantage that we're finally coming to is the U.S. has a lot of players that aren't playing in the U.S. They're playing in other countries. They're going to play in Europe, Portugal, Spain. So they're getting the level of play and bringing that back to the U.S., which I think is phenomenal.
Yeah, U.S. soccer is like Spanish basketball.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Spanish people play Spanish, like people who can't make the NBA play in like Spain, and
they go to Spain and Germany and things like that.
That's what USA guys are.
Yeah. You play
absolutely. Soccer in the USA if you can't make it in the bigger places.
And all your retired guys that are on their last, like they're just coming to get a paycheck. Beckham was the first one to do it. You've got some Mexican players here. Herrera's here. Gareth Bale came and played here in the U.S., and they don't do it because U.S. soccer is amazing. They do it because it's a paycheck. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I think that's what's going to happen in the U.S. is bring those big stars in, and have them on a team for a year or two, just to help grow the sport. Absolutely, mentor and all of it.
Those big names bring a lot of publicity to it.
A lot of publicity. In '96, so I remember in 1996, that's when like soccer, I don't want to say took off, but that's when I think the U.S. started finally taking soccer more serious. Because the women's team, as you know, they've won fucking multiple World Cups. They're phenomenal. And the men's team, not so much. So this year, we're not out of it yet. The U.S. still has a chance to go into it, right? So we tied against England, which was a win in our book. Like a tie against England was the best we could ask for. I mean, aside from winning, right? But the expectation, I think, was to get beat.
Mm-hmm.
Wales, our first game against Wales, I mean, come the fuck on. We tied against Wales. That shouldn't have happened. So now...
What should have happened? I don't know anything about soccer.
So Wales is...
Are they bad?
Yeah,
like we
it's not a team that gets into the World Cup every year. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like they're kind of wishy-washy. Or not every year, but every World Cup. So it wasn't a game that we expected to tie or lose, right? It was kind of like odds are in our favor. Didn't happen. So now going into our game against Iran, we have to beat them in order to move on to the qualifying stages. So that's one side, right? I'm a U.S. fan. Obviously grew up in the U.S., but I'm a Mexico fan too, right? Half of my family's Mexican. I grew watching Mexico soccer. Argentina and Mexico played today, and Argentina 70th minute, 75th minute, finally was able to score. Messi scored, of course. Who else would be the fucking goal scorer? And then it just turned into they just basically put us in the corner, started punching our face with the soccer ball, and just attack. And then their second goal that they scored was a phenomenal goal. So Mexico's not out of it either, because all of these teams have been like 0-0,
just draws,
1-1, just draws, or like a one goal differential.
Is the group stage like a round robin?
Yep, round robin. So you play each team, and then obviously it's points. So 3 points for a win, 1 point for a tie, 0 points for a loss. And so what's happening now is teams are like going into this last day or the last game of your group. The chances like first, most of the groups have like a clear first place, but second and third, and only your top two move on. Second and third, if let's say they both win their last game, because it's not against each other, they both win their last game, they are tied for points. So then it comes down to goal differential. So,
and then they're still tied because every game has been 0-0 or 1-1.
Or 0-0 or 1-1. So the last game really matters a lot for you to win, but not only win, but win by a lot. You know, you want to put 2 or 3 in, because if the other team wins too, then it's a matter of goal differential. So it's been interesting.
I get wanting to play it. I think playing soccer would be fun. I think it looks exhausting. Looks like a lot of running. But
it's a lot, yeah.
Even if you understand the game, like I don't understand it, so it's not a viewing, like pleasurable viewing experience for me. Do you enjoy watching it? I don't understand what's fun about watching.
So I do, right? I enjoy watching it. Obviously, I grew up playing soccer, and soccer's like my number one sport. And I enjoy watching it because once you understand it, you, just like any other sport, you get frustrated. And like, you know, like just position. You see guys that are out of position, or you know the potential. So that's the thing about soccer is you could be your team could be just getting absolutely run down right now. Like just playing defense, shelling up, and just, you know, holding off the fire as long as possible. And all it takes is that 30-second break, that one defender to be out of position, and you got a counterattack going the other way, and you can score. And so, you know, that's the big draw to soccer is you never count a team out.
So that's what I don't like about it is you watch for the whole game. Like how long does a soccer match take?
It's 2 45-minute halves, so 90 minutes.
And does it just run nonstop? Like guaranteed It's 90 minutes?
Yep, 90 minutes plus stoppage time, right? So players get hurt, you know.
Yeah.
Typically you'll have anywhere between...
hours.
Yeah, roughly 2 hours with halftime. You know, they take a 15-minute break for halftime, whatever it is. But there's no commercial breaks. It's 45 minutes straight. So game starts, and in 45, 48 minutes, depending on, you know, the extra 3 minutes of stoppage time, it's straight.
So you watch for 2 hours or whatever, depending on stoppages. and one cool thing happens. Like for me, I like watching highlights. I think like the cool goals and the drama, like you can just see that drama later. You don't have to watch the whole thing, because you can get if you're an avid fan, you see your team constantly out of position, but they're not getting scored on, and then they win in the end. The whole game you're stressed for no reason because it never amounted to anything.
But it could.
And then it's like, oh, we won 1-0. It was the craziest game I've ever seen. It's like,
But
I could have watched that 30 seconds of goal and known how much.
But that 30 seconds only shows you the plus. It doesn't show you
the negative of
the negative of the watching your team just, and it could be the other way, right? We'll use Argentina for example. Their last game, they scored 7 goals and only 1 counted because they were just always so offsides, right? Just like in hockey. I don't know if you know hockey at all, right? But when the puck is passed, you can't be past their last defender, not including the goalkeeper. So past their last defender, you cannot be behind him when the ball is touched, when it's kicked. Now, after you kick it, you beat the guy, whatever. The other guy's slow. But Argentina, like, the rule in soccer is the body, right? So your feet, but if I make a U-shaped run and I'm leaning and I look like I'm even with the guy in front of me, the defender, when my guy hits the ball, but I'm leaning, so half of my body is behind him, even though my feet are even with him, right? But my body is leaning that way, it's offsides. And Argentina got called so many times, and then they ended up losing that game. 2-1. In a game they shouldn't have lost. They lost to Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia has never been known for their soccer. Argentina's won World Cups. They fucking Messi. They have like phenomenal players. And so that's the type of drama, right, that you hate to see because, you never expect a team like Saudi Arabia to beat Argentina. But it wasn't because Saudi Arabia was better. It's because Argentina just didn't play smart, per se.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Making those small mistakes. And then all that equates to a small mistake. We score. They were still, beating down Saudi Arabia. They were on their doorstep. And then mentally, after you score 7 fucking goals and you only get 1 counted, like it draws on you, you know what I mean? And that's what happened. It just drained them mentally. They make 1 mental lapse, and Saudi Arabia comes down and they score a goal, and they go up 2-1 and they win the game. So, I mean, it's kind of like, you can think of it like football. I guess, when you're watching a football game and you have a Falcons team, right, that goes to the Super Bowl and is just whooping up, and then, fucking Tom Brady does what Tom Brady does and turns around.
But that's exciting because they score a lot of points. They put a lot of good things together. It's not just stalemate, score.
Yeah, of course. Soccer's not a high scoring. Obviously, it's not a high scoring game, right? But the opportunities that are there are the excitement. When you've got a guy and he puts a shot on goal and the goalkeeper makes an amazing save, or he hits the post and you're like, are you kidding me? An inch to the right, and that goes in, but it hits the post and goes off. You know what I mean? So, again, for those of us that are soccer fans, that's like, my wife says it all the time. She's like, I don't know how you watch football. It's so boring. They stop, they go. They stop, they go. They stop, they go. Why do they got to stop?
You know what I think we can all agree on, though?
What's that?
The most boring sport to watch is baseball.
Oh, my God.
I
have no clue how people watch that.
Yeah, it's so long and it's so boring and
it's like 5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And
I don't know how they make so much money. I don't know how the MLB can pay their players that huge of contracts. I got another hot take of a viewing experience for sports. I don't like golf right now because PGA Tour, all the big names have left.
Yep.
And they've gone to Live. I don't like watching Live. I don't like the way they broadcast it. It's like the PGA does a good job of constantly showing highlights as well as the featured groups of the players you want to watch. And Live, I just can't. Like, I've tried to watch like the big
It's like
ones.
you're following on the course. Like if you were at the course watching them, you're just following the same guys, which I agree. I agree with you 100% because I was able to watch the PGA Tour before, and I was excited to watch it some weeks because I knew I would watch and get highlights. And so with I would watch it on Hulu. So you can follow a marquee group, right? But even following the marquee group, they would have like another, picture in picture where you could watch highlights, which was fabulous because I'm like, hey, I'm watching the guys I want to watch, but I can still see what's going on in the field. Well, now, right, you can still do that, but you're watching fucking bunch of no-namers. You know what I mean? People you don't know. A couple big names are still there.
Yeah, or the up and coming guys like
Or the up and coming guys, yeah.
But with Live, like when you want to watch a featured group, that's day 4, the leaders, right?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
But on day 1 and 2, before the cut even happens, you don't want to watch one group only.
No.
You want to see what's going on in the whole tournament. You want to see all the cool things. And so yeah, it's like you watch no names and see the highlights, or you follow one group of big name people that are possibly less motivated because they got huge contracts with guaranteed money.
Stupid amounts of money, yeah.
Like I get why they did it. Guaranteed money is guaranteed money. You got to do that.
Yeah.
But.
So the one thing that I do now, and it's funny you brought this up because every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I go on YouTube and I just fucking find round 1 highlights and I just watch all the highlights. And then I will look who's in the lead. Okay, cool. Expected, unexpected. And then round 2, same thing. Maybe there's one player that probably like Rory, I like watching, they'll show his highlights, specifically his highlights. And not just round 1, but Rory's specific highlights, or I'll watch, all his shots, whatever the case is. But I don't find watching golf fun. I had it saved on my favorites on this little fucking Fire Stick app that I have where I can watch, the golf channel. I took it off my favorites because I just don't watch it anymore.
Yeah, it's not fun.
No, it's not.
So I will say, even though I don't know what's going on, I would choose to watch soccer over golf and baseball right now, and hockey. Hockey in person is the funnest thing to watch, but watching on TV is not very exciting.
My cousin was telling me that he lives out in Loveland, Colorado, and he's like, he fell in love with hockey. He's like, we go to hockey matches all the time, and I'm like, dude, we never watched it growing up. Like, he's like, I never understood it. He's like, but when you go to the game, like the atmosphere is amazing, the games are amazing. He starts telling me all the stuff they do, when they score their first goal of the season or whatever, they throw 5 million teddy bears out there, all these cool things.
Yeah, they do stuff where you, like the minor league, like the amateur league hockey matches, that's the best to go to. Where you get a hockey puck and everyone throws them out and whoever makes it or does whatever gets like a prize and they do a bunch of fun stuff.
Yeah, that's what we watch is some amateur.
Yeah. The same league so we went to, before we had the baby, we went to Rapid City for a Valentine's Day trip. And it was balls cold, freezing cold. Like our Subaru Outback, one of the most reliable cars ever made, would not start. It was so cold. Are you
serious?
It was like 20 below.
Oh my God.
And so the whole trip we stayed in our haunted hotel. But we go to this hockey game and we're watching most of it, and it's getting towards the end. The Rapid City team was going to lose. They didn't really have a chance to come back. And so we go to leave early to try to beat the crowd or whatever. Never do that, especially in a blowout. I've learned if there's a blowout, there's going to be a fight. So we're walking out, and there was no fight. There was a few times one ref got hit in the nuts by the puck. That was pretty funny.
Oh, dude, that had to hurt so bad.
Oh, he was down for the count, brother. And he didn't ref the rest. They went with one less ref.
No, you can't. I mean,
yeah,
he was hitting the fucking ball in the puck, dude.
But we're walking out, and there's TV screens in like the hallways and stuff, and like I see the lights start flickering from the stadium because they have like a song and whatever else. They play like Irish pub music, like high octane Irish music, and these dudes start duking it out, and I'm like, God damn it! We were so close to where it happened too. Like we had good seats. We didn't get to see him throw down, so we had to watch.
They did it after the game was over, or what?
No, it was just towards the end, like right after we walked out.
Oh, okay.
And then they started fighting. I'm like, God damn it!
I had to make it entertaining.
Yeah. So if a team's getting blown out, I think the likelihood of that fight happening is higher.
Much higher. Yeah, I can imagine so. That would be fun to watch. I haven't been to a hockey game like a live, like in person hockey game before. I've only ever seen it on TV, and not in the East, where it's fucking warm all the time. Ain't no hockey happening out here.
Yeah.
We get some water polo or some wiffle ball. Wait, is it called? No, not wiffle ball. The other one. It's like tennis,
Is
but
it curve?
Smaller.
No, racquetball or
no.
cricket?
No. Cricket's on like a horse, isn't it?
No, cricket's with the flat wooden bat that they bounce the ball and there's a stick behind the guy batting. It's really weird.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
No,
yeah.
polo is on the horse.
Polo. No, not cricket. Me and my wife were
Lacrosse?
just talking about this because they're getting ready to build some courts, like a huge complex just down the road from my house. They're gonna build like 28 courts of pickleball. Pickleball.
What the fuck is pickleball? I've heard of it, but I don't know what it is.
I've heard, like, I first heard of it with, like, where I'm a member at the golf course, and they have pickleball courts there, and some of the guys that play golf tell me they play pickleball. What the fuck is pickleball? It's like a fucking giant sized, like a fucking tennis court size fucking ping pong. Use this like plastic ball. You got these giant paddles.
Hell
I started looking into that. Dude, they have like world championship pickleball, and these people go nuts, dude.
That sounds fun.
Dude, it's insane. You should. I'm telling you, pull up some pickleball, like world championship pickleball. These people are 5 feet away from each other. They got this fucking plastic ball, and they're just whacking the shit out of it at each other, 5 feet away, and it never touches the ground for like 4 or 5 hits. It's fucking crazy. And then they have couples
awesome.
teams, so there's like men and women, probably husband and wife more, and they're like really good. I told my wife, I was like, we should try playing it. And then I thought about it, and I was like, I love my wife, but she would be the worst. She has zero athleticism in her body. And I'm the most fucking competitive person in this world. Yeah, my wife's, she's got 2 left feet when it comes to kicking a soccer ball. Like, she's from Colombia, and she can't kick a soccer ball.
Well, that's hard. Kicking a soccer ball is not easy.
Well, yeah, okay, I get it. She did synchronized swimming when she was growing up, so she's athletic in that sense. She was a synchronized swimmer and did like diving. Oh. That looks pretty stout.
We're all right.
Put some more hair on the chin.
Oh, see this? I just grew this from that drink.
That drink right there just put some hair on your chest.
Yeah, I just felt it grow out.
Oh.
But yeah, that sounds cool. Pickleball.
Look it up, dude.
We'll never have that here. So
no.
We got golf, disc golf, and I get called like bougie at work all the time because I play golf, and I'm like, you don't understand the kind of golf that I play.
My wife says that too.
12-pack. Well, you are a bougie golfer.
No, not at all, man.
You are.
No, I'm not a bougie golfer just because it's a nice course.
Yeah, it's a private course, and you get little like ice towels and shit. That's bougie.
Because it's fucking hot, dude.
Yeah, it's not that hot.
That makes bougie. I did play a $50 skins game today. It didn't win any money. I fucking got cut on the only birdie that I made. Yeah.
Cheers to that.
Cheers to me donating to these fucking old guys. I tell them that's their fucking my social security. There's their social security. I'm fucking. There was only a couple skins given out. So what we did today was there was 20 of us. It was a $50 skins game and then $10 CTP. And there was 20 of us, dude. It was payouts were big. There was only 5 skins given out. I think it was 5. 2 eagles. 2 of those were eagles because we played from the ladies' tees. It was fucking phenomenal. We went to ladies' tees and
we were with that.
You would be surprised how many fucking how many holes. And I play with guys that are plus handicaps, right around scratch golfers, and there were so many holes that fucking pars, like we didn't birdie. There were holes that were not birdied.
Yeah,
and because a lot of it is we're so used to playing back that we've got 120, 130, 140 yards in, not 40, 50.
If you go to a brand new course and play from the ladies' tees, you're probably going to play okay. But when it's your home course and you're so used to the yardages, it's so hard to switch to the ladies' tees.
It was stupid, dude. I was crushing my driver, which was great. Like hole 1, we were on hole 1, and the guys were like, yeah, they're on the green. I was like, I don't think I can get there. I'm not hitting the driver like the greatest. So the guy, one of the scratch golfer that was in our group, Frank, he went, he hits the ball pretty well. He was still 15, 20 yards short of the green. The guys were on the green, so I was like, okay, I'll go. and I fucking pure one, brother. This shit's headed right to the green, and I'm like, oh fuck, dude, hole one, like. These are the guys, my buddies up there. They're gonna be pissed because they know that I know I could probably get there, but I wasn't hitting the ball well. So luckily, I got lucky and it fucking drew kind of last minute. The wind pushed it off left. I landed like 10 yards left of the green, fucking pin high. Oh yeah, pin high. And they all turned like as we drove up. They were pulling off the hole too, and they're like, "Fucking asshole, what are you doing?" And I was like, "Sorry guys, like I didn't mean to. I did not expect to be able to hit it that well." And that was the only time I hit it that well all day.
Damn.
The rest of the time, I was always, 15. The closest I was the rest of the day to hitting onto a green I was like 7 yards off on, I think it was 10. I was like 7 yards off the front. But we were playing into the wind, which made playing the green tees more difficult.
Yeah. Did you know the guys in front of you?
Yeah.
Did you not like one of them?
I like them all. Well, I don't like them because they always take my money, but I like all of them.
Okay, so
they're good guys.
There's two. I have two experiences where one was at my home course. We played in a tournament, and I was striping my driver this day. And hole 2, I don't know if you know our hole 2, kind of dogleg left, not a super long hole, but it was into like a 15, 20 mile an hour wind at least.
Ooh,
and from the whites, I hit it well. I thought it was on the green, and it was in the green side front bunker. And so we get to the blues, and there's a team in front of us, and there's a South African guy. I can't stand him. He drives me nuts. And they're in front of us, and he's been kind of bothering me all day. And so we step up, and I'm like, well, the wind hadn't changed. We're on the back nine. We're on the blue tees now. Wind hadn't changed. And I'm like, well, they're on the green. I'm going to hit. And I drove the green. I carried it to the front of the green. The greens were fast, which is rare for our course. They were fast and hard, so it rolled all the way across. And he comes storming off the green to where we can see him from the tee box because it's a blind shot.
Yeah.
And I hear him go, "Oi!" And I'm like, oh, fuck. And so we drive up, and I see my ball, and it's pretty close. It's like 7 feet from the hole. And he wasn't mad. He said it lipped. He said it rolled right past his wife. Are you
serious?
It rolled past his wife as she was getting ready to hit a putt. And I did yell for her just in case.
Yeah.
So they heard that. And it lipped around. And I almost got a hole in one on a par 4.
That would have been insane. And a blind one at that, you wouldn't have known.
I would have had no idea. I probably would have never found it until we finished out the hole. I would have already played another ball and couldn't count it. The other one was in Denver at a work one. There was a guy, he was another guy from our company, and he's just, the second I met him, I knew, like, this guy's
didn't
arrogant.
fucking like him.
Yeah. And so there's this hole, and I'm like trying to get the guys I'm playing with to tell me, I've never played the course before. And they're like, this is the line, see that big tree right there? Aim just left of it. I'm like, all right. And so in my mind, like, that's way right of where the green's at. It's a big dog leg left. It's way right, and they're up by the green. So I'm aiming way right of where they are, where the green is. Mm-hmm. And it's like 340 to the green.
That's a poke.
Yeah. And so I'm like, all right, so I'll aim where they're going. I kept shooting it, and I'm like, that tree's only at 200 yards, and the fairway's not much past it. I don't know if that's the right line. But I trusted him, and then I mishit it. I pulled it with a draw. Ooh. And I see it bounce. And then I see it hit their cart and bounce back. And they're right next to the green, and they were still chipping. And so I see him turn around. His name was Murray. So that, you never met a Murray you liked? Yeah, fucking no, Murray.
Fucking
Murray. And he puts his arms up like, what the hell? And then we get up there, and he's pissed, dude. And then I apologized to him, and he's like, did you really hit that? And I was like, yeah, and that was me. That wasn't them. And he's like, oh, well, fuck, I don't care if you hit it. I don't like those guys. I'm like, oh, okay, that's good.
At least you like me, right?
Yeah. At least you don't know me.
That too. I've only purposely hit into somebody once.
Oh, that's horrible. Why would you do that?
Okay, so let me give you a little backstory.
Are you clipping your fingernails in a podcast?
I had one long one. Sorry, it was bothering the shit out of me.
It's unreal.
So, I know that you can edit that out. That's all good.
No, I'm keeping that. I'm gonna clip that.
Okay, hell yeah. So we're playing. I'm playing in San Diego, and it's a muni course, so it's nothing fucking bougie, right? That's when it's not as bougie as you say I am now. So I'm playing a muni course, and there's a group of guys ahead of us, and it's a little later in the day, right? So, pace of play's got to pick up a little bit so you can get all 18 in. And This group ahead of us is taking 7 shots off the tee box. There's 3 of them. They're taking 7 shots because they can't hit it more than 20 yards. They're spraying it, fucking shotgun in the driveway, the fairway, and no more than probably 150 yards. So for about 7 holes, I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. And they didn't let us play through. That's the thing. There was only 2 of us, and they wouldn't. I rolled up to them. I was like, hey, can we play through? No, we're good. All right, whatever. So we get to, I think it was hole 8, and there's a dog leg left. So straight out and then straight left, right? So we're waiting for them on the tee box. They hit, they go. They pull off to the left, right? We seen them hit their second shot. They pull off to the left. Okay, cool. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to go ahead and hit. And as they're pulling off to the left, one dude just fucking takes a hard right and starts driving down the middle of the fairway. And I'm like, there's no fucking reason for you to be in the middle of the fairway. He's driving away. And my buddy I was playing with, Fabian, he's like, you won't hit him. And I was pissed, dude, because we had already been playing slow. I wasn't playing well. So I was like, fuck it, I'll rip one down the middle, see if I can get one down the middle. And I fucking smoked this drive, brother. And it is right behind him like a heat-seeking missile.
On a rope?
It's on a rope, dude. And I'm like, oh, please turn. Please. I'm talking about them, not my ball. I'm like, please turn, please turn, please turn. And this thing smokes the back of their fucking cart on the fly. Boom. Ball goes flying. I don't remember where it went. And they fucking slam on the brakes. And these are some, they're burlier guys, big guys. They're not golfers, just out there fucking off. They're all drunk. So, the guy gets out and throws his hands up. What the fuck? So, well, it looked like he was saying what the fuck. So, turns out, so we drive up after I hit my ball. We drive up there just up in the fairway. He drives back and he's like, did you hit my cart? And I'm like, yeah, I did, man. Like, you were driving down the left-hand side and you turned down in the middle of the fairway for no reason. Like, I don't know why you did that. And he's like, oh, I forgot a ball over there. And I was like, all right, well, I didn't know you forgot a ball, so I hit because I seen you driving off. He's like, I just want to tell you, that's the coolest fucking thing ever. You hit me on the move, dude. I was like, all right, man, you're happy. I'm happy too. But when I hit it, I was pissed.
Yeah.
So I'm just glad he was happy.
That's the coolest fucking thing.
Yeah, dude, he was super country dude. Fucking big burly dude, big beard. That was fucking awesome, dude. You hit me on a fucking move. That's awesome. I was like, all right, man, cool. Cheers to that. Can you guys hurry the fuck up?
You just unlocked a memory from high school. So my football coach, he always gave everyone nicknames, right? And he wasn't very good at it. Most people had pretty bad nicknames, but there was a kid, and I think he was a freshman, and he was just like, starting to come along. He was big, and so everyone called him Big Country, and he was like giving the end of practice speech or whatever, and the kid had done something well, and one of the other players like shouted him out, like, let's go Big Country, and the coach goes, hell yeah, big cunt.
Oh,
and
no
that
way,
poor
dude.
kid
Never lost that nickname.
It stuck. I got called Ralphie in basketball.
Ralphie.
I looked like the kid from the Christmas Story. That's what my coach thought. And it didn't matter. He was an angry man. Like, he was loud. You could hear him 2 buildings down during a basketball game. Super loud.
Yeah.
And like, I would get taken out. I was on a rotation, and when I would go to, like, he would want me to sub in, like, it was not the normal time that I was supposed to. The other kid that subbed in just wasn't. He was getting beat.
Yeah.
And so you just hear, like, louder than shit, Ralphie, get in there. It's not my name.
It's not my name, coach, but I'll go. I want to play. Nicknames, man. That's something. So that's like my thing. I was being in the Marine Corps and having fucking bunch of dudes that work for me. I came up with nicknames for a lot of people. Ones that stuck out. Like, if you didn't have a nickname, it was either because I didn't fucking like you or I just didn't know you. Like, I knew who you were, but you just didn't stick out to me. And so I came up with nicknames for a lot of people, man. A lot of people. And it's just the thing I do. Even guys that I play golf with now. I just call them random shit. Like Scotty, his name's Scott. No one calls him Scotty. I'm the only person that calls him Scotty. So I'm calling him like, hey, Scotty, good shot. And he just fucking walks right on by. I'm like, Scott. Yeah. It's a good shot. Oh, you were talking to me? Well, you're only fucking Scott on the goddamn team. I just added a Y to it,
Yeah.
But but he's got a lot of nicknames. They call him Gummy. He's a big pothead. He's a recovering, or he's a I mean, they're always recovering, right? Alcoholic, drug addict, and he's diabetic, so he's got a little insulin pump that he rolls around with. But this dude fucking hits vape pens that are fucking weed because it's like calms him. Smokes those all day and takes gummies. This motherfucker eats gummies, like fucking weed gummies, like it is candy. It is insane.
Isn't it crazy the tolerance those people have?
Yeah,
it's nuts.
His wife went on vacation, and his stepson, they went to, cause she's from Venezuela, so they went down to visit her family. They've been gone for like 2 weeks. He's like, I've been high for 256 straight hours. I was like, Jesus Christ, dude, what the fuck?
Good for you, man.
Yeah.
I'm happy for you.
He's like, fuck it, I've been living off of peanut butter sandwiches and soda. Just cracks me up. But the tolerance, and he's a phenomenal golfer, which is the shit that pisses me off. High as fuck, just goes out there and plays lights out.
I know a guy like that. He tried to go pro, and then his life fell apart. He's a big stoner and whatever. And my uncle got him on our team for a scramble one time, and he shows up super late, super hungover, super high, and walks up, doesn't do any warm up, walks up to the first tee, long par 3, sitting like 225, and he sticks it 2 feet from the hole and gets in the cart. Didn't say a word to any of us. Like, he wasn't ready to talk.
Rolled up, hit it.
He just rolled up, didn't take a practice swing, hit it 2 feet from the hole, and got back in the cart. And then he sucked for the rest of the day. That was the only cool thing he did all day.
Oh, that's funny. That sets the expectation so high, and then it just.
I'm like that in every scramble. I'm not a scramble golfer. I'm not good at scrambles. No, I start off strong, and then I can't do anything. I have to have that pressure of, if I hit a bad one, it's on me and I have to recover, you know?
Yeah.
If I have that bailout, my mental's not good for a scramble.
So you'd have to be like the guy to go first in the scramble.
I like to go first.
Yeah, because then,
and
I don't want to say there's pressure, but you feel pressure to put one out there so that your other guys, you know, can take a rip at it, I guess.
Yeah. And I don't mind going last, and I typically have to go last because I'm usually the better guy on the team. I usually play with my family, so I usually have to be the one to bail everyone out. And I have a pretty safe swing, but I do like to go first, and because I don't swing super hard, and so, you know, my cousins or whatever, they'll swing out of their shoes, and if they connect on one, they'll hit it farther than me. So
yeah,
might as well let them try. They're not very good golfers. Might as well not. You know, let them swing loose, swing free, not feel pressure.
Don't put the pressure on them, because then you know they're not going to hit a good shot if they're not good golfers. I mean, chances of them hitting a good shot. Yeah, I like scrambles, but I'm kind of in that same boat where, for me, when I'm playing in a scramble, it's like I don't care. It's like, all right, cool. You know, you put one in the fairway, I'm just going to try and rip this. You know, and I can typically keep it, you know, in the fairway, or at least close to the fairway. It's not like I'm putting them out of bounds every shot, but there's no punishment to a bad shot. Unless I'm going last and everybody else has hit a shit ball. And then at that point, I'm trying to play the safest ball possible.
Yeah, so, and then even still, if you hit a bad one, or just a slightly bad one, you have 4 shots from there. So you never really focus in as much as...
No, not at all.
As if it was a match or whatever. If you're just playing your own ball. I like best balls. And
those are fun.
If you're really looking to struggle, you play alt shot.
So next month,
you want to feel the most pressure.
We're doing that. So today we had our big group, 20 guys went out and played just $50 skins from the Palmetto tees, or, you know, the front tees. And so next month, the 2 guys that shot the most birdies today are team captains, and we're doing a Ryder Cup format. We're doing alt shot best ball next month on the 17th. And then same thing, big money game where we're going to put in we'll probably do 50 for the game, and then a side bet if whoever wants to play the skins game, we'll probably do another $30 or $40 skins on the side. Because it's fun. I love playing for money just because it makes me play, you know. I feel like I'm playing for something. Granted, I'm always playing for something because I want to shoot low, but I know that those 3-foot putts matter. Like, that's a 3-foot fucking birdie putt. Like, it's not a gimme. Sorry. Yeah, in a normal game, okay, that's a gimme. I know you're going to make a 3-footer. But when you got to make a 3-footer for, you know, a skin that could be worth up to $150, like, that puts some thoughts in your brain. The guy I was playing with today, Frank, phenomenal golfer. He was a former PGA pro. He's a PGA teaching pro, phenomenal golfer, and he missed easily four putts that were within 5 feet. He's just lipping birdies.
Yeah.
And I'm
That'll
like,
happen. That's the story of my life.
And he's the one that told me, he's like, I come out here any other day and it's not for anything. I'm just playing just to play, and I'm making those all day. He's like, and I let it get to my brain, and that's what happens. You miss 4 foot birdie putts. And I was happy that he missed them, but not at the same time, because the only fucking birdie that I made today, he fucking dropped one from 25 feet on top of my fucking 5-foot birdie putt.
Yeah.
Story of my life.
I'm jealous that you're talking about a golf match in a month. I haven't played for 2.
Yeah, I know. I love, like, brother, the best thing about moving out here is being able to play golf year round, all the time. It is so nice. You need to move out here. I know it's never going to happen, but I can always hope and wish. And my mom's getting ready to move out here.
Yeah, that's going to be good.
Yeah.
She'll like it there.
She enjoys it. I don't know how much Pablo will like it, just because, she's going to live with him because of what he's got going on. But
I could see your mom being a little bit of a handful. Like, she's super helpful. But she brings helpful. A lot of energy.
Too much energy, especially Pablo. Exactly. You know Pablo.
Yes, Pablo is me, just not me.
If we could put you on steroids, but like to go the opposite way, right? Like a super calm. You're already super calm, and then Pablo's like you on steroids, super calm.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. And yeah, my mom's gonna come here, and he's either going to make sure, like, put her in her place. Not that kind of sounds bad, right? Put my mom in her place, like, let her understand. Or she's just going to overwhelm him. And after 6 months, when he can start driving again, he's going to be like, fucking leave. Get your own place. You can stay here, but you can't stay with me. So, we'll see. It'd be good to have my mom out here, though. I would love it.
Be a lot of help with the kids.
Yeah.
Although you don't really need it anymore.
Not really, yeah, because my kids are older now, so it wouldn't. It's gonna sound bad, but you can get more date nights of just you and your wife. Yeah, yeah, for sure, like overnight types things that we could do. Because right now we still have date nights, and we go out and leave the kids at home. We'll go out for a couple hours, but I think like overnight stays would be much better if we want to go down to Jacksonville to watch a show for some reason, or a comedy show or whatever, because we like doing that. But it's a late night comedy show, and it's a 2-hour drive. Maybe we just want to hang out the night. We have my mom here to take care of the kids. And I love my mom to death. But the downside would be now when we plan trips, because my wife fucking plans trips every time she gets with her family. If there's a family gathering with my wife and her family, there's a trip that's going to be planned. It's just tonight's a perfect example. We went to my mother-in-law's. We're hanging out. They had a little barbecue, and lo and behold, they planned a trip to Charleston. And I'm like, fuck. And the trip to Charleston is the week right before, the very next weekend, we're going to Georgia to spend Christmas in Georgia. And then come the new year, we have a concert that we're going to. Like, dude, it's insane. It's like another job keeping up with the trips.
It sounds so exhausting.
Oh, it is, dude. It is. I love people. Like, I'm a people person.
Yeah.
But I can only handle so much of my family. My wife's family before I'm like, I've had enough. Just let me not do anything.
Yeah.
So yeah, I actually wanted to talk to you about that, man. So family, and obviously holidays, Thanksgiving, spend a lot of time with family. You either don't see, or more time with family than you normally would spend. And I know you're like super introvert, and you are not a people person when it comes to like, you get overwhelmed with people. How was Thanksgiving for you, man?
It was a lot. We checked every stereotypical box.
Did you really?
So you always hear about like the over conservative uncle or whatever that goes on a political rant. Well, that was my sister this year. My middle sister.
Oh, your middle sister. Okay.
Yeah, she just went on this rant about like. I don't want to put her on blast, so I won't bring up like the issues she was talking about. But she's conservative. I'll say she's conservative, and my cousin is dating a guy, and he's just now started to come around the family. She's from Colorado, and he's super liberal.
Ooh.
And so she's going on this rant, and he was, pretty talkative, whatever. He's a good guy. He's a really good guy. He's really good with the kids and everything else. And he was super talkative all night, and he just started to shut down. And it was a 2-day thing because we went back the next day, and she brought it all up again.
Oh
And then
my God.
she brought religion into it and all sorts of stuff. It was like,
All the stuff you're not supposed to talk about with family over the
yeah,
Thanksgiving dinner table.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know what got into her. She's never been the one to do that.
Really? And she did
Yeah.
it this time, huh?
Yeah, she was the one.
Mm-mm-mm.
But yeah, other than that, I mean, it's pretty normal. We don't really do anything too crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well,
yeah,
for
what
you,
about
right? Because obviously you're super chill and you just get to sit back and watch everything happen, right?
Yeah.
So I was with
My
your
baby-
family. Didn't you guys do some stuff with family too?
Mhm.
How's her family and Thanksgiving and that dynamic?
It's pretty chill. So her brother came and brought his 3 kids, and then his wife, her parents came down. So they do 2 Thanksgivings. We do 2. It's a whole
Yeah.
deal. So, I actually used to work with my brother-in-law's wife's father-in-law, if you can follow all that.
Brother-in-law's wife's father-in-law. Okay.
So I used to work with him. He was kind of like a mentor to me, so I know him pretty well. And actually, I don't want to say his name, but I think you know who he is, because one of Tyson Schledewitz's childhood friends it's his dad. Logan, do you know Logan, dog trainer?
Logan's.
Yeah, his dad.
Oh, Logan's dad. So I know Logan.
Yeah.
I don't know his dad though.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to bleep names out, but so I know him, and they all came down, and it was the more traditional Thanksgiving, just sit down, have a meal, whatever. Their kids are pretty wild, so started to get pretty overwhelmed. But
Did she
she
really?
did she did good. She slept good last couple of days, so
That's good. There's probably a lot of people interaction and a lot of moving around, going different places. Probably wore her out, which is good. As far as sleep goes, like that's good.
yeah. Outside of the stereotypical political rant, it was all pretty normal.
Yeah, that's I mean, you can always expect something like that at the dinner table with family, right? It's what you want to avoid, but somebody's always got to bring it up.
So did you do 2 Thanksgivings, or did you do your family with Evelyn's family?
Yeah, so Evelyn and her family being from Colombia, they don't celebrate Thanksgiving. It's not something they celebrate, right? So, so before everything happened with my brother, we had planned for her family and for me, right? Just me and my wife and kids, because my mom and my sister weren't going to be here. We were just going to get together. I was going to do Thanksgiving like I always do. I make turkey, ham, I do the whole thing. I was going to invite them, but I sat down beforehand with them, and I let them know, like, hey, this is my holiday. Not in a sense of you guys never celebrated this, because if I don't set boundaries, they're just going to show up, and it's going to turn into a Colombian festival. They're going to bring Colombian food. They're going to listen to Colombian music, and I enjoy that. Don't get me wrong, I really do. But it was Thanksgiving, and I didn't want that, so I had to set the boundaries. Like, listen, you don't need to bring Colombian food. You don't need to bring rice. You don't need to bring things that we normally don't have for Thanksgiving. I did let them know, hey, look, this is what I'm going to have. Turkey, ham, stuffing, mashed potatoes, corn, all that. I was like, if any of those items is there, if that's not like something you feel like you would eat, then I don't mind if you bring a side dish. Bring, let's say, some chicken. If you want to bring some chicken, cool. There's nothing wrong with chicken at Thanksgiving. But I don't need you bringing a pot of Colombian beans to Thanksgiving, right? Because that's not our tradition. So that was what was originally talked about. Then my brother happened. Didn't know if we were going to have a Thanksgiving dinner. He got out of the hospital, so then we just threw something together last minute. My mom was here, so she cooked everything, and it was phenomenal because my mom's cooking is amazing.
You got out of it?
I got out of it. Yeah, this year I got out of it. So, I helped with a couple things here and there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we had the whole Thanksgiving spread, and with her family, because they don't really celebrate Thanksgiving, they came and they were like super open. They were just like, yeah, what's Thanksgiving about? So we gave thanks before we ate food, before we served. We kind of went around we'll say went around the table, even though we were all standing in the kitchen around the island. Went around and things we were thankful for. This one a little emotional, because obviously my brother being in ICU and him coming out, it like hits home at the same time for you to really realize like you don't get together very often as a family. Mm-hmm. This is the first time me, my brother, and my sister have been together for any type of gathering in the past 10 years. It's been 10 years since we've all been together with my mom. And, those are things you don't think about because I've been hanging out with my mom. She lived with me. When I go home, I visit my sister. My brother lives out here now. But for us all to be in the same place at the same time. So that was pretty cool too, because that really kind of hit home on, what Thanksgiving's about. And then her family, this being their first Thanksgiving that they spent with us, really kind of got to understand what it's about. And they were all about it too, man. They tried all the food. They brought, drinks and a couple side salads. So that was cool. But then when we actually sat down and ate, like it was like, whew, they were over here, we were over here, they're sitting on the couch and fine. They're talking. Yeah, because it's to be expected.
That happens to us, and we don't even have the cultural divide. We just group up.
Yeah. Everybody.
It's those of us that are not PG, and then the PG ones.
Yeah. So that was super fun. And the food was amazing. Fucking stuff, dude. I got so fat that day. So
I did leave something out. I don't know how I spaced this. Blame the juice that I'm drinking. We do a thing where we have a big enough family. Everyone brings something, right? Someone brings green bean casserole, whatever. So vegan, and my oldest sister's family, they have a lot of allergies. Like her husband, my brother-in-law, he can't eat corn, anything corn. Like it messes him up, and a whole lot of stuff. No gluten, so I couldn't use. I needed to make a dessert for them and for my wife.
Oh, you were telling me about this.
Yeah, and so I found a recipe for hot cocoa brownies, and I used plant butter. I did use real sugar, which made it easier because not using sugar is hard, but I could use sugar, no corn syrup or anything like that. I used straight cocoa, so I couldn't use like milk chocolate, so I had to use like baking cocoa. Okay. So I had to do all this, and I was cooking it, and I made vegan marshmallows and everything to go on top of it to melt it. Yeah. And I made the first batch in a little kind of like a loaf of bread type.
Yeah, a little loaf pan.
And I don't know if it was the plant butter or I used oat flour. I don't know what happened, but it was just really it was like bubbly, and it wasn't really like a bread or a brownie. Okay. And so I was like taking paper towels and patting it as I was cooking it, and I started to go way over the time, and the edges I could tell were starting to get done. But the middle, it just looked like soupy, and I'm like, man, this is not going well. And I had time because we did lunch with my wife's family, and then we did dinner with mine. So this was the dinner one. So I needed to get it done before we went to lunch, but I would have time, if I needed to, whatever. So I take it out and I throw the marshmallows on to melt them onto it. Marshmallows, phenomenal. Those turned out great. And then I take it out and we go to my wife's family, come home, and it is a fucking brick. It solidified and it was harder than solid shit. Just like I still haven't got it out. I've been soaking it. I can't get it out. I get like this much every day off the top, and it's like that thick. So
oh my god.
Yeah. So that sucks. So I had to remake it. I still had enough ingredients to remake it. I kind of had to, mess with the ingredients a little bit. Yeah. I didn't have enough cocoa, so I had to. Whatever. So I made it thinner this time. I used a round pan, and I made it thinner and let the edges kind of get a little hard, and then just stopped. Yeah. And I was so scared of making it that way again. I said I'd rather it be soft because there's nothing raw in it. You could eat the batter. There's no eggs in it.
Oh yeah, then you're fine. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, if it's soupy, fine, as long as it tastes good, and it tasted good, and it turned out okay, but. Yeah, that was a
I remember you told me you were going to be making that. Because first you were like vegan marshmallows, and I'm like, fucking vegan marshmallow? I've never heard of a vegan marshmallow before.
Yeah, you know what the main ingredient of a vegan marshmallow is?
Fucking no.
It's called aquafaba, and
Aquafaba.
that is the juice, the water of chickpeas. So you cook chickpeas, and then you use it, and then you beat it. You use like a mixer or whatever,
Yeah.
and it fluffs up like egg whites do if you beat them. It's
Oh,
crazy.
really?
Yeah, and then I used agar powder, which is like a vegan gelatin.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know Jello wasn't vegan
I didn't know
until
that either.
yeah. So it's something in it's not animal fat or something. I don't know, but yeah, gelatin's not vegan. So this is like a vegan gelatin, and yeah, it's hard. The first time I made them, they were weird. They were like the bottom was really like hard, and then the top was like fluffy. This time I got it down. I figured
You got
it
the
out.
consistency good.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, they're not the same, but they're pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Yeah, that
interesting.
was the first when I made them the first time. I took my time, and it took me like an hour, 20 minutes, hour 30 minutes, just vibing, cooking, baking.
Yeah, of course.
And then the second time I made it fast.
Well, because you've done it once, so now you know how to work everything.
And
I think that's the
running
biggest
out
thing.
of time.
Well, that too. You're running out of time. But yeah, it's funny you mentioned like the vegan and stuff because my daughter's friends who live here in the neighborhood, they came over Thanksgiving, in the afternoon, and they wanted to hang out, whatever. So I was like, all right, cool. So one of them, we had asked them later in the evening, hey, you guys hungry? You want something to eat? There's plenty of leftovers. If not, we got other stuff in the refrigerator. Just have at it, whatever you want to eat. So one of the girls, she's like, well, she said some word. I couldn't even begin to tell you what the hell the word is, but it started with a P, and it had to do with eating.
Prostitute.
No, it had to do with eating, not dick.
Okay.
Not eating dick, okay? She's fucking 12 or 13 years old. She's not a prostitute.
Okay, don't do that to me.
So anyways, she says something. She's a pedalopian. I'm just going to throw pedalopian. Basically what it means is she only eats meats from two-legged animals. So she doesn't eat beef. She doesn't eat pork. She doesn't eat venison. She only eats chicken.
She's a cannibal?
She's a cannibal, but she only eats meat.
Yeah, two-legged animals. That's people. She's cannibal.
That was the first thing that came to mind when she told me that. She was like,
what other animal has 2 legs?
Chickens.
Oh.
Turkeys.
Gotcha.
Fish. They don't have legs, right? So basically anything that's not
what's
four-legged.
like a pescatarian or
Pescatarian is fish only.
Okay.
So so she said that, and then I was just like so intrigued. I'm like, what is that? And she's like, no meat. Since she was born, dude. Since she was born, she's never had red meat. She's never had a fucking steak. She's never had pork. Lamb, anything like that. So she was telling us, I mean, it's very limited. Think about it. How many animals can you think of that fucking walk on 2 feet?
Well, I just had to ask you. So obviously humans was the only one that came to my mind.
I think you're a cannibal, brother.
No.
Yeah, dude, that's fucking super strange. I've heard of pescatarian. I've heard of vegan, vegetarians, people that don't eat red meat. I guess that'd be the same as not eat. Well, I don't know.
I'm a don't eat red meat guy.
Is pork considered red meat? No.
No, pork's not red meat.
Pork's not red meat. Yeah. So
red meat makes me sick though.
I remember you were telling me about it. You stopped eating it after you guys watched. There was a documentary and
Game Changers.
Yeah. And you haven't eaten red meat since? You stopped eating red meat?
I had one steak that the company paid for just because, and I felt like shit afterwards. So
did you really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I told my wife about that, how it takes like fucking 12 hours for your body to digest a steak. And she's like, oh, I love steak. And I'm just like, it's not unhealthy for you, but it's not healthy either. Like the amount of energy and time that your body takes to break it down is
in moderation.
Insane. In moderation, yeah.
Yeah. You can treat it like a delicacy and then you're fine. But if it's your main source of intake, like if it's your main intake of protein or food or whatever, you're gonna have heart problems late in your life.
That's my wife. I tell her all the time. She loves steak, dude. I can't get her to stop eating it. It's kind of sad. I did find out with my brother going to the hospital. I found out he's I want to say a dietitian. He's not a dietitian. A dietitian had to come fucking talk to him because he's diabetic. We found out he's diabetic, but it's the not so bad. I mean, not that any type of diabetes is good, but
lesser of two evils.
Lesser of two evils. Yeah, he's type 2, not type 1. So type 1 is like, sugar goes low, you could fucking, die, basically.
Mm-hmm.
His is like, he has high blood sugar, so he doesn't produce enough insulin to keep his sugar levels down. So, like, the way they fucking did it at the hospital. So, this dude is doped up, just came out of a fucking induced coma. And the next day, right? And Pablo's a bigger dude, right? You know Pablo's a big dude. So the sedative they use stores itself in your fat cells. Pablo's not fat, but he's got a little chunk on him. And Pablo's fat. Never mind. He's got dad bod. And so by day 2, when the dietitian came in and we're getting ready to release him, like this dude is still staring at fucking birdies flying around his head. Like he's still fucked up.
Conked out.
Yeah, and so she's talking to him, and for the first 5 minutes, he's attentive because it's like something new. Boom, catches attention. After 5 minutes, dude, he had a blank stare on his face, and she's going into detail and carbs and sugars and how the body breaks them down and what this means. And I'm sitting in the room, and I'm listening to her, and I'm looking over at him, and he is just fucking lost, dude. Like, he is in another world, and I'm like, I get it. It's her job to come in here, but they gotta fix this because he's not gonna remember fucking anything. Because we go home that night, and Paul's like, hey, can I have a soda? I'm like, no, dude, you can't drink a fucking 20-ounce bottle of soda. Like, you got to fucking eat sugars and carbs in moderation. 40 to 60, that's all you can have per meal. If you want a snack, you can have 30 in a snack. Like, you drink that soda, you can't have anything to eat the rest of the day because your fucking carbs are up, or your sugars are up. So he's like, what, really? I'm like, dude, they gave you a whole packet. You're going to have to read it. He's like, they did? Yeah, dude.
Well, you can't blame the guy.
Yeah, no, I can't, right? But Pablo's like all about sweets and snacks. Like I went to his house and I was looking through his cupboards and I was like, dude, you're gonna have to throw 90% of stuff out, like 'cause you just can't eat it. It's too much. Not that he can't eat it, but he's not gonna be able to eat. He's gonna have such a small portion that it's not gonna be worth not eating. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the shitty part. I would like being diabetic and having to change your diet like that. Oh, so hard.
Changing your diet's hard anyway.
Yeah,
I'm 50,
just changing.
I'm 50% vegan, so I know what it's like.
Yeah, that's so hard. I did vegan for a month, and it was fucking hard. And after the month, I couldn't wait to fucking sink my teeth into something that had fucking juicy meat.
After I said that, it sounds so like pretentious. I'm 50% vegan because it's like. Someone who is not vegan's like,
dude, they're going to listen to that.
Stupid. And then people that are vegan are like, then you're not vegan.
Then you're not vegan. Yeah. You should tell her that. See what she says.
I say it all the time. She doesn't care. She's not one of the stubborn ones.
No?
No.
Did she kind of like sway you to go that way, or did you just kind of like...
No, it was the red meat making me sick.
Really? And that really made a big change?
Yeah, and then it's just not worth, like, I cook dinner a lot. She cooks dinner a lot. If she's cooking, obviously it's going to be vegan. And if I'm cooking, I'm not going to cook 2 meals. And I'm not going to cook something she can't eat. That's messed up. So when I'm at home, I cook vegan, and I've learned to do it pretty good.
Dude,
when you're out, when you go to, like, restaurants or whatever, it's really hard. Yeah. So it's hard to maintain that if you're... where she works from home, it's a lot easier for her to maintain it. And she's got more willpower than I do, than I will ever have.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Now, I'm thinking for New Year's, I might go vegetarian. I can't get rid of dairy. I can't.
No, so yeah.
I can give up meat. But
I get that, dude. Like, the vegan, like, giving up dairy and everything, that was hard.
And dairy's bad. Dairy's bad for you, but...
Oh, very.
I cannot.
Just in moderation, you know what I mean? It's not like you have to give it up fully. You just got to be able to know... to limit yourself. And
I've substituted a lot of it. I use plant butter, and I use I finally found a soy milk that I like.
Is it sweetened?
No, I can't. The sweetened ones are so bad. I don't like them.
Yeah.
They're like, they just have a weird aftertaste. I'm a milk guy. I grew up on eating cereal, so it took me a long time to find one that I could tolerate. I can't drink it straight, but anything that I want milk in, if I put it in coffee or cereal or whatever, it's good. So
Yeah, soy
I don't
milk
do any of
aftertaste
that.
for me. Soy milk, like I cannot do soy milk because the aftertaste just it's like
So I don't
oh
know what this one does different. It's way lighter. Um, I I don't even know how to explain it, but it's called West Soy, and it when you buy it at the store, it's not refrigerated. You don't have to
really?
refrigerate it until you open it. It's in a carton. It's in a box,
Okay.
and it's just way lighter, and it doesn't have as much. Like if you drink it straight, you're gonna get that soy aftertaste.
Yeah.
But I was always a coconut milk guy too, but I never really liked it in cereal. I could drink coconut milk straight,
But not in cereal.
but not with
Yeah,
food or
it's
whatever.
I don't think I could do that either. What about almond milk? You're not an almond
I
milk guy?
hate almond milk.
Do you really?
I don't like it at
Dude,
all.
I like almond milk way more than I like fucking soy
I
milk.
like almond coffee creamers. Those are pretty good.
I don't do almond coffee creamers.
I don't use a lot of creamer as is, but if I do,
Almond.
but yeah, like with cheese and whatever else, I just in eggs. We don't have eggs in the house, but if I go out to breakfast somewhere, I'm gonna get eggs. So
Yeah, that too.
but
Eggs
meat,
are
I could give up meat. I think probably
I
will.
could too. I could too. It's not. I mean, it's not hard to be honest with you. I started doing the. I don't know if you've heard of Factor. You know the meals that they send.
Yeah,
Yeah, like they send them to your house. You get them a week worth of meals at a time, however many you order. I started doing that 2 weeks ago, and for the sole reason, like you say, right? You kind of went the vegan route because you're eating or cooking, and you don't want to cook two different meals. I was in that same boat where I'm like, hey, I want to eat healthier, but Evelyn doesn't like healthy food, right? We'll say. So I was always forced to cook two different meals. And then because I'm cooking her meal and my meal, I'm like, fuck, man, I'm picking at their stuff. I'm trying to like, my willpower is not strong enough to just leave it
yeah.
and not, right? So I'm picking at this to taste it to make sure it's got good flavor, but I'm still eating my meal. So what I did is I just totally went away from that. And I bought my own meals for Factor, which has helped out immensely because now I know I have my pre-portioned meals. You can choose vegan, vegetarian. I do have a couple proteins in there. And dude, it's so much better. So much better. Dude, what I have noticed the past 2 weeks, I've been gassy as fuck as my body is trying to reset itself, dude.
Yeah,
I have been
that'll happen.
gassy as hell.
We started eating a lot of miso to get those probiotics,
Yeah.
and that's been the result. A lot more bathroom trips lately.
Yeah.
One thing I want to say is here at the T&A podcast, we love Factor very much. So if you want to sponsor us,
Absolutely.
we'll take it.
Factor meals. You can get a
Big
great
Factor,
discount
guys.
if you're looking to get some discounts on your first meals from Factor. Reach out. I've got plenty of coupons that you can get phenomenal deals on your first like month's worth of meals for super cheap. You too.
Yeah.
Get some vegan meals.
Yeah, it'd be nice. I have to do it on extra hard mode because not only is she on the vegan diet, but completely whole food diet. She won't do refined sugar.
Oh my god.
She won't do processed flour. She won't do hardly any sugars. So like agave nectar, pure maple syrup. That's pretty much it. She'll use date sugar because it's the least refined, but that gives it like a kind of a chalky, chewy, like a weird texture. So
like a powdery.
I can't use oil either.
Brother, you are playing life on fucking extra hard mode right now.
Yeah.
What the? How are you not 120 pounds of skin and bones?
Because I'm 50% vegan.
50%. Dude, I'm gonna live until she's like 112.
That's her goal.
Yeah, dude.
She's going to live 40 years after I die.
Oh, dude, she's gonna be like those fucking Okinawans, dude. The fucking Okinawans live until they're like 100.
Yeah, so that's one thing she's like super obsessed with is like reading about other cultures that do, like third world places, especially that all they have is the stuff they grow. So that's whole foods, and they live so freaking long, dude. And it really is. It's kind of scary when you really go into it and like do the research, of like the stuff that America does to our food it's so
insane.
It's fucked.
Yeah, I watched a documentary not too long ago about, all the stuff that they pump into our food to make it grow faster, the hormones in the meats, you know, all the chemicals they put on our plants to, you know, the fertilizer in the grounds to make them grow faster because they got to sustain. It's just
Pesticides.
insane. Yeah, the pesticides, the herbicides, it's nuts. But once you realize that, and then you eat whole foods, organic foods, and then you go back to normal foods, you can taste the difference. It's insane. Your body, the way your body reacts, completely different as well.
I hate the whole GMO and non-GMO thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because some of it, like some of the GMO stuff, once it's been genetically modified, like that's pesticides, whatever else. But some of that stuff, like, have you ever seen a non-GMO banana?
I don't think
It's
so.
99% seeds. Watermelons, shitloads of seeds. So some of it, like, they don't do anything different to it other than they just literally change the genetics to not have,
7,000 seeds.
Yeah. So a banana that's genetically modified is just so it doesn't have seeds in it, and it makes it edible.
Or like
exotic
seedless grapes.
Yeah. So like that's I don't like that whole argument, but so you really have to do your research to find out what they've done. If you have a like genetically modified food, you have to like, what did they do to it?
What did they do to it? Yeah, for sure.
It's crazy.
That is. But good for you, man. Like, kudos, honestly, man, for you to be able to like go, even if it's only 50% vegan. Like, kudos, brother, because that shit is hard. Again, I did it for a month, and I stuck to it, man. And after fucking a week, I was like, this is gonna be impossible. But for you to be able to like just live that lifestyle, but like you said, once it's a lifestyle change, so once you're used to it and you're cooking it now, and you found ways to make it taste good or appetizing, that's awesome. I could never do that with my wife because she just meat all day.
Yeah.
That's why I say you want to come move in with me. You can cook meals, teach me how to be a vegan cooker.
I can try. It's hard. Well, if if you're not going full whole foods, then it's a lot easier. You can use like processed white flour and like she won't eat white rice. It's got to be whole long grain
brown rice. Yeah. But that's got
she's
to be
even gotten to the
expensive
point-
because the Whole Foods, like, it's always.
not. It's really around here. Like some of the, if you want like fresh produce, that gets a little pricey. But with like gluten-free flour, whole grain flour, like whole wheat flour, whole wheat bread, it's really not that much of a price difference. And then if you get like the grocery store cards and rewards programs and memberships or whatever, it's manageable. It's not too bad. It's just the produce that'll get you. There's a lot of soup. You can do a lot of soup. That's vegan.
Soups are not very filling though. That's the downside.
Oh, mine are. Chili, dude. That's the one thing. You just take out the beef, chili. Easiest vegan, best vegan.
That's true. Yeah, just beans.
Yeah, it's hard mode. I've definitely learned to cook.
Yeah, but that's awesome. You've done it though, man, and that's the thing. Like, you've stuck to it. You're supporting her lifestyle, which is phenomenal. Like I said, I love my wife to death, but when I tell her I want to eat healthy, she's like, "You eat fucking healthy. I ain't eating healthy. I'm eat whatever the fuck I want." I'm not telling you.
Each their own, man.
Just...
You only live once. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
Just don't live to be 400 pounds, then you're limiting your life. But if you stay active enough and you live 75, 80 years.
Oh yeah.
You had a good life, and you had a good life. That's what it is. So I don't want to be on here preaching about whatever else. But if veganism is something, or even vegetarian is something that intrigues you, a few things that I would recommend is Game Changers, the documentary. It's on Netflix. Talks about like bodybuilders, and like Arnold Schwarzenegger's a vegan, and there's a lot of big names that you wouldn't think are vegan. And then another one with the sugar stuff, because sugar is actually really, really bad.
Really bad.
There's a book called Sugar Blues, and that one it's pretty extreme. Some of the verbiage they use in that book is pretty hardcore. So it'll kind of make you feel bad when you read it, but I haven't read it. My wife just makes me read a lot from it. But that's another one. I mean, if you're looking to make your life healthier, those are two things I would recommend.
Yeah, I think sugar was the big one after I had my surgery on my knee, and I gained like fucking 15 pounds just from not being able to move, right? Surgery on the knee. And then I did kind of prepped meals, and I started monitoring all of the sugar intake, like almost cut it as much as I could, cut it completely out, right? All your extra sugars that didn't come from some healthy source, fruits, and even managing how much fruit I ate because there's so much sugar in those. And without any exercise, being super, what's the word where you just kind of sit in a chair all day? I'm trying, basically non-mobile. I'll just say that. Sedentary, like a sedentary lifestyle, right?
I say sedentary on the second word?
Yeah.
Isn't that like rocks and sand?
Is it sedentary? Sedentary? Whatever.
Sedentary.
Sedentary. Yeah. I think it's sedentary. Well, I threw them both in there. That
docile.
Way, docile. See? You're throwing some fabulous words at me here. So, anyway, I lived a very docile life for 30 days after surgery. And I just really monitored what I ate. Sugar intake, cut that almost completely out, except for the necessary. And I lost 14 pounds by just fucking doing nothing other than just monitoring that. And I was flabbergasted, like just how much weight you could lose and how much healthier I felt afterwards. And then I stuck to that for a long time. And then I actually got stuck with that until I moved. That's when my wife and kids were out here. And I was in California by myself, so it's super easy to eat healthy. Like just throw a salad together, whatever. And then I got here, and I got lazy, didn't cook, eating my wife's cooking, and then just like went back this way.
Yeah. So we got to wrap this up pretty quick, but I'll tell my little weight loss story too. I used to work an office job, and there was a Family Dollar right next door, and I would sit at a desk all day, and it wasn't a super busy job. So I would just snack, drink energy drinks, eat candy, and I got fat. I guess I shouldn't say that for people that weigh more than what I was at, but I was up to 235 was the heaviest I ever was when I weighed myself. And the combination of leaving that job and taking a trade job, and then I went vegan for a while. I went full vegan for a couple months. And in that 2-3 month time span of being more active from my job, a little bit of exercise, a little bit of working out, and being vegan, I lost 70 pounds. The lowest, I went from 235 to 160.
That is insane.
And I'm no longer at 160.
I remember seeing you, brother, at 160, and I was like, holy shit, you lost some weight.
I needed a little muscle mass, though. I looked like skin and bones.
Yeah, well, I mean, you were just skin and bones at that point.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was crazy. You always see people lose a crazy amount of weight, and then when you if you're not super committed, you try for a little bit, you're like, I've been working out super hard for 3 weeks, and I've lost 2 pounds. It's like, that's just water weight. You didn't lose shit.
You didn't lose anything,
But yeah, if you really commit to it, it can be done. But you have to really change your lifestyle.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's for sure. Yeah, look at that. We covered all things food, Thanksgiving, family,
sports and fitness
and
episode.
Yeah. I appreciate you having me on. I know I was
you a big fan of fitness, brother?
I am, man.
Yeah. Fitness dick in your mouth.
Fitness dick in your mouth. Fitness dick in other places. You know what I mean? You fucking asshole. I fucking hate you. How did I not fucking know you were setting me up for some bullshit? Yeah, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it. And
it was a good talk. Nice chill little talk.
Yeah, for sure.
I got no better way to end it other than this.
T&A